Secretary for his 2020 campaign. Welcome to both of you. Kayleigh, I want to get your reaction right now because I did speak with the reporter on this who had the byline, David Enrich. He's from the New York Times. He broke the story. Here's what he had to say moments ago. Highlight exactly what your reporting is finding.
Well, first of all, Donald Trump, it's important to remember, is one of the biggest clients of Deutsche Bank, and Deutsche Bank is the only bank that has done business in a consistent manner with Donald Trump for the past 20 years. And starting in 2016 and going on into 2017, a number of transactions that various Trump accounts and Kushner accounts at Deutsche Bank were involved with were flagged by the bank's computerized anti-money laundering system. And when employees went to take a closer look and reviewed the records and investigated the transactions, they concluded, based on what they had seen, that these were potentially suspicious transactions that should be reported to the federal government division that pursues financial crime. And the bank, these reports go up through the chain of command of the bank, and bank managers took a look at what their employees had found and what they'd recommended, and they overruled the employees.
And Kayleigh, you hear what he had to say. He stands by that reporting. You are the press person for the campaign going forward. What do you make of these allegations and these reporting?
Well, the notion that any of these transactions were involved with money laundering of any sort are completely false, as Jared Kushner's spokesperson said, and completely false on the part of the president, too. And one of the things mentioned in that very New York Times article you're citing is that it's routine for real estate developers to make large all-cash transactions that are routinely flagged because of the size and scope of the transactions. Just because they're flagged does not indicate wrongdoing. Again, it's cited in the very New York Times story you reference, and in fact, executives said no need to refer these on. So what we see this as, and I think what the American people see this as, is yet another chapter in the witch hunt against this president that will turn up nothing. Investigation after investigation has turned up nothing. The Mueller report, congressional oversight. So this is yet another iteration of the same false attacks.
But the reporter who did this piece, David, I should mention, says that some of these entities that were involved, the foreign entities that were involved, include some companies and people in Russia.
Yes, and listen, please don't speak for the American people, because you don't speak for the American people. You speak for the campaign. You probably have absolutely no first-hand evidence or even involvement.
56% of the American people say move on from investigating. 56%, so I can speak for the American people.
Let him finish.
You got your chance. It's my turn now. Okay, you talk about congressional oversight? Well, let's have congressional oversight. But no, the White House is refusing and is actually preventing any congressional oversight on the Deutsche Bank. Members of Congress gone to Deutsche Bank and asked for information to look into this, and the White House is suing. Trump is suing to prevent that. We have his financial disclosure forms. We don't know exactly how much money he has borrowed from Deutsche Bank. We don't know if any of that money has been backstopped or backed up by other parties. There's so much here we don't know. So you can't tell me that the American people don't care about this and that it's not important or that it's been litigated and dealt with already, because none of those things are true. You are not telling the truth here.
Yeah, Kayleigh, if everything is on the up and up, why continue to sue Deutsche Bank and others to keep their financial records on the hush-hush?
Well, I'll answer that, but let me just address something said. Yes, I can speak for the American people when I have polling on my side. Poll after poll says the American people say move on. The Harvard-Harris poll shows 56% of the American people say don't investigate. So factually, yes, I can speak for the majority. I let you finish. Let me finish.
I should mention the polling that we have says that a lot of people don't believe the president when it comes versus Barr or versus the Mueller or Robert Mueller as well.
Well, every single poll says, do you want Congress to legislate or investigate? The answer is always legislate. People are tired of this investigating. And they're also tired of the antics of Democrats. The 84 Trump targets that they're going after, the subpoenas that are politically motivated. They're tired of this. No collusion, no obstruction. Mueller brought no charges against President Trump, against Jared Kushner. So continue to reach, because you're just damning your chances for 2020.
Stick to some facts. The Mueller report has almost a dozen
cited polling and facts. You've cited
dozen instances of obstruction. 900 former federal prosecutors.
Then why didn't he bring charges?
Because
Congress's job.
Because of Justice Department policy. You know that. Don't tell me that he
made
was
no
absolved.
recommendation. Why didn't he make a
Don't tell me
recommendation
he
to
was
bring
absolved.
charges?
And how about this? Will you ask the president next time you see him why he lied to the American public during the campaign when he said he had nothing to do with Russia while he was negotiating secretly and even involving Putin's own office?
He has no business dealings in Russia. He has no business dealings in Russia.
That's that's crap because he had a letter of intent that he signed. You're not telling the truth
There
here.
is no business deal in Russia. Point me to one tangible product that is in Russia.
I know we're relitigating things that's already been reported and said many times, but we have had confirmation that he was trying to do some stuff with Russia over the years. The Trump Tower being just the least of it.
None of that panned out.
Okay.
He signed a letter of intent.
Just because you're a failure means you have no business dealings with the country?
He said he had nothing to do with Russia.
Well, you guys are going to keep going down the Russia road. You're going to go down the Russia road. No collusion. You're doing so at the peril of your own party, Dave. You're doing so at the peril of Democrats. It's pretty clear you have a party.
Let's leave that right there.
Pretty clear you have a party.
Let's leave that right there for now. David and Kayleigh, hang out for 1 minute if you don't mind. I do want to pivot right now to the growing calls to impeach